Hello YouTube, this is a Supermoto Hooligan. Welcome to another one of my moto vlogs. It's pretty cool here today. It's 11 Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but when I get home I'll convert it and put it in an annotation. Just the beginning of this week it was 30 Celsius, which is very hot for around here. Looks like fall or autumn is already here. It's come really quickly. I don't know if you can see from the leaves, but some of the leaves are starting to change color already. In some cases they're starting to fall off the trees already. But my video today is going to be about gravel and motorcycles. Is gravel your friend or is it your foe? And the reason I want to talk about this is I've been watching actually I think I've seen every single one of Lori Jennifer's videos. I'm definitely a fan, but I notice any time that she has a video dealing with gravel, I think she has an unhealthy fear of it. And yes, gravel on pavement is like rocks on a skating rink, but gravel in of itself is not necessarily dangerous if it's treated with some healthy respect. In fact, gravel can be a hell of a lot of fun. So here I am on a gravel road. This particular bike has the identical tires that come on a Ninja 250, so they're definitely not meant for riding on gravel. They're for pavement. So when you ride on gravel with street tires or a street bike, the sensations you feel are very vague coming through the bike. Obviously there isn't a lot of traction. If you ride through hunks of gravel like this little line I'm going over back and forth, your bike actually feels quite vague and you really don't have much steering control. Everything, all your movements that you make on gravel have to be very cautious but deliberate at the same time, and you just have to realize that you don't have the same amount of control that you have and traction that you have on pavement. But if you keep that in mind when you're riding, you can actually have a lot of fun on gravel, especially on a bike like the KLX250sf, because the riding position, the suspension works great on gravel. It's just the tires that are not optimal for it, but it doesn't make riding on gravel dangerous. Here I am, I'm going 80 kilometers an hour on what is actually a 50 kilometer an hour road. I'm quite far out of town, there's no other traffic, and I'm having a heck of a lot of fun here on gravel. One of the things I would suggest, and some motorcyclists may scoff at this idea, but I think it's part of the reason why I already feel confident riding on gravel, and that is to ride your bicycle on gravel, because basically the physics are the same. I come from a off-road mountain bike racing background. I raced at the elite level for 2-3 years, and I've spent a lot of time, 20 years, riding my bicycles on gravel, and I feel very comfortable on it. I mean, the physics are basically the same. We're going down a really steep hill here. You probably can't tell because of the wide-angle lens on my GoPro. Coming into a very sharp corner. Another thing Lori Jennifer had said in one of her recent videos is that when she's on gravel, she avoids her front brake, which I think is completely incorrect. The physics, whether you're riding on gravel or pavement, are the same. Your weight transfers forward under deceleration. If you use your rear brake only, especially on gravel, where there's even less traffic or traction, you're asking for trouble. So you need to use both brakes, just as you would on pavement. But what you have to learn, and it's the same concept on the street, you have to learn modulation. Basically, you only squeeze your brake lever as hard as you need to. You don't grab a fistful so that your front wheel locks up. You basically gently feed in the brake till you get the required deceleration without having your wheel lock up. And again, I would suggest one of the best ways to learn this is on a bicycle on gravel. Nice little series of corners here. Still had my blinkers on there from my last turn. At no point here am I feeling like I'm in danger or gonna die. I'm actually having a lot of fun. And I don't have years of motorcycling experience. 20 years ago I had a year of motorcycling experience, and now maybe I have 2 months additional riding experience, and I already feel quite comfortable on gravel, again because of my cycling background. So that's definitely one thing I would suggest, is if you don't feel comfortable on gravel, go ride a bicycle on it. The physics are the same, except for the fact that when you're riding a motorbike, it actually, you get less communication because of the suspension, because of the size of the tires. You actually have less feel of what's going on at your contact point. So you have to keep that in mind on a motorbike. I mean, a bicycle provides you with so much feedback from the surface you're riding on. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Let's just keep having some fun here. Maybe I'll put some music. It's been raining here past few days, so there are some slight muddy sections. We're coming up to a big downhill here, which unfortunately with the wide angle lens on my GoPro, it's hard to tell excuse me, that it's a big downhill, but it's a few kilometers long. Last summer on my mountain bike I came down here. This is about an hour of riding outside of town. All said and done, it's about a 2.5-hour bike ride for this loop that I'm doing on my motorbike. We start descending here, and we're going to come to a steep downhill section where last year I hit a little over 70 kilometers an hour on my mountain bike, which I guess translates to about 40 miles an hour. I could have gone faster if my bicycle had bigger gears or harder gears, but I was spun out already partway down, so I just went into a tuck and couldn't go any faster than say 40 miles an hour. I guess another thing I would say for gravel is you have to have all your braking done before you take your turn. Those physics are the same for motorbike racing on the street. You do all your braking before your turn. You're basically more or less gliding through your turn or slightly accelerating through your turn. It's even more important on gravel. You have to have all your braking done before you lean the bike over. Because if you apply any more than the tiniest amount of braking while you have the bike leaned over on gravel, you're asking for trouble. I don't know if you can see that view, but it's actually quite stunning. So this little downhill section here, I hit 40 miles an hour on my mountain bike last summer, which we're already going over right now on my motorbike. Tons of fun. Gravel is tons of fun. I mean, the only downside to it is it makes your bike dirty. It gets your chain filthy. At least it's kind of damp today, so my chain hopefully won't look that bad. But if it had been like it had been earlier in the week, my chain would already be all dusty brown. So we got maybe 500-600 meters left of gravel. Oh, the rear tire was spinning there as I accelerated. Good times. Excuse me. And we're going to cross a river, and it'll be pavement again. I'm trying to remember the name of the river. I think it's Current River. Here she is here. People swim in that spot. Quite nice. And I'm going to end the video right here. Thanks for watching. And don't be afraid of gravel.